Hi, hearty welcome to this session, and this is the fourth session of Make No Sense. You know, initially when I read this and it was launched by the CSD department, I thought it was Make No Sense, N-O. So I was wondering, if we don't have to make any sense, then what is the sense in having Make No Sense? But when I saw this K-N-O-W, it made all the difference. So on that note, I'd like to maybe introduce myself first. So I'm Dr. Sunita Gupta Conver, and I'm the course leader for Fashion Business Management. And just to let you know, I'm sure by now all the students know, this is my first statement, I'm a hardcore Bombaya. Yes. And because I'm the hardcore Bombaya, naturally I was born and brought up in Bombay. And I did all my education in Bombay. I did my PhD in economics from Bombay. And then after that, I got married and I came to Delhi. I taught at Bombay University for about 20 years. And then after that, in 2002, I came here. And from 2002 onwards, again, another, whatever, till 2024 now, that many years again in the field of teaching. So thank you so much. And this Make No Sense is basically, it is a session where what I liked about it is that it is heart-to-heart conversation, which is not filtered. So we can, behind the scenes, what happens and what is it that actually happened in the class in the initial days. So that very honest conversation is what we are going to have. And also, this journey that they have been able to travel from being student to now being a professional. So that is what is the journey we are trying to capture. Yeah? And on that note, I'm going to request them to introduce themselves. Yes, Manik, would you like to go first?
Yeah, definitely. Hi everyone, I'm Manik and I graduated in 2023 and I was part of the first FBM undergrad batch. Currently, I'm working at Miragio, which is a handbag brand I hope you guys know. And I'm working as a marketing executive and I overlook the complete website of Miragio, offline activation events and brand collaborations.
And I also want to add that Manik, by the way, was the first batch of undergraduate at IIAD with FBM. So at that time, we had 10 students. And I guess we had 2 boys in the class, and Manik was one of them. And the girls found Manik to be very handsome.
Oh, please.
Yeah. Yes, so, and Manik turned out to be from that student who was very naive in L4 to a student who came up to be, by the time he was doing his capstone, and we had organized industry visit with the L4 students going there, and he was taking them to Miragio and explaining. Was it Miragio or Coach at that time?
No, it was the export
Tangerine,
house.
yeah. And they were, Tangerine was making bags for Coach. And they all thought that he was one sir, and they were all addressing him as sir. And when Swati came back and told me,
please, I was like, please. I was like literally begging. I was like, sir, mat bolo, please.
Yes, yeah. So, so that is about Manik, and would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello everyone, my name is Jessica, and so I had done my bachelor's in fashion design from 2015 to 19, and 19 was when I shifted back. So I went to the Mumbai campus, I shifted back to Delhi, and I was looking for things to do. And it was around 2020 that I applied for IIAD, and then I came across Fashion Business Management Masters, and I did 2 years of that. So I'm from the 2020 to 23 batch, and it was, I think, the second batch of Fashion Business Management in Masters. Yes. So from there on, my first job, I had gotten into production and design executive in an NGO called Udayan Care. And I overlooked the production and design activities. So earlier it was just back-end, production, giving them samples, designs, small goods to do. We have 5 categories. So we have women's wear and men's wear. Then we have small goods, we have jewelry, and we have home decor. So these are the kind of products I give them to do. And then later on, costing is involved, and looking at merchandising, things like that. Almost everything is involved, because then they wanted to come on social media. So last year only we had opened a social media page for Sukriti. So under Udayan Care, the brand is called Sukriti by Udayan Care. And it's been a long journey and I've learned a lot. Like, as I said in the description, everything that we had learned in college, in the classes, everything was coming back to me when I was sitting there in the office. So, yeah.
So there was something nice that I like about, of course, Jessica happened to be one of the bright students in the batch, and we all faculty. I think some of the students will still see the work, you know, L4, the brand W, some of them saw that work. So that work was done by Jessica. Yeah. So I hope you are able to associate now. So she was one of the bright students, and I remember when it was time for her to be placed, and we were wondering, that was just the second batch, and we were wondering as to where Jessica would like to work. And strangely, from the fashion design department, this lady called Shipra, she introduced me to a British lady, and this British lady runs an NGO. So I went to meet her, and what's her name?
Isabel.
Isabel, yeah. So I went to meet Isabel, and I was really appreciating Jessica. And I thought, like, NGO, how much would they be paying her, you know? So that was my apprehension. And she said, how much do you think this student will ask for? How much is the... So I said, I'm not going to let her take anything less than 7 lakhs per annum. And she said yes. And I was quite surprised that, you know, I mean, an NGO ready to pay that much, even an industry, a well-established industry, for a fresher doesn't pay that much. So that is what I feel was commanded by Jessica. Yeah. So having said all of that, let's go to maybe some little candid questions and ask you something. So Jessica, maybe you can go first in how does it feel to be here on this show? Have you planned something that you thought of that this show would go like, or how do you feel being here?
Ecstatic. I always love coming back to the campus. It's that one place where, you know, I can connect back to the fashion industry. It's my network, my people, and it's nostalgic. I love coming back here. And no, I didn't plan anything. I'm just going to go with the flow.
Yeah,
yeah, just see how it unravels.
How about you, Manik?
Yeah, same. I'm glad to be back because we've actually spent less time in college because I think first 1.5 years we were online. So our batch started online. So we spent very less time in college, and last year you spent very little time, around 6 months in college. So I'm always happy to come here for anything. And I honestly didn't plan anything because yesterday we had a call and Sunita ma'am didn't tell us anything. She was like, you just show up, dress nicely and just show up, and I'll ask you questions and you just answer. So people asked me, like my sisters and people in office asked me, what is it about? I was like, good question. Even I don't know what it's about. So yeah, just happy to be here always.
Thank you, thank you. So I remember you go back, say 4 years back when you were aspiring to do your fashion business management. Yeah? What came into your mind? Why fashion business management?
It's a very funny story. Like,
I have
to
be
say,
honest.
It's the most honest story. So during school time, I was driven for design. Like I had to go to NIFT, and I just had this thing in my mind. But even when I gave my exam and everything, I realized I didn't have this knack. Like where you can just openly create. You have the creativity to design. And I had applied to IIAD, and I had it in mind. I always thought about it. And I had these colleges kept on the table, and my mom just came and she's like, Yele. She's like, you'll go here. And I trusted her choice. Like I trusted her choice and her instinct. She's very big on instinct. And recently somebody gave me this advice that always go on instinct, and you have to be heavy on instinct. So I chose her instinct, and I think that's probably one of the best decisions she's made for me.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Amazing. How did it happen with you, Jessica?
So my sister was going here in fashion communication at the time, and I remember there was an exhibition which we were invited to. It was open to, I think, families and
yes, portfolio.
everyone.
Yeah, grad show.
grad show. So I had come in and I looked at the campus, I looked at the work, and I was just thinking, you know, this is something that I relate to, I'd like to do, because the kind of course that we have here, it's more research oriented, which is something that I would have liked to do at the time, but wasn't finding the right platform. And then I looked at the courses by curiosity, and I found fashion business management, and it only made sense because in having the background of fashion design, it's one thing to design and to have a creative flair and etc., but it's another whole ball game to manage all of those aspects. So I thought that's what I need to know, and it really supplemented my knowledge. So I thought it was the right decision, and I still stand by it today.
So I get the point that fashion business management, but why IIAD?
Because of the research aspect, because other colleges, yes, they were project driven, there was a lot of creativity, but I felt like, you know, here the course was more intensive towards research. The way I read about it and the work I saw, it spoke for itself. I could see how much thought went into the kind of projects that I saw. So that's what led me to further get into, you know, knowing more about IIAD and then going forward with it.
And Manik said that already, that it was mom's instinct. Is that, you want to add something to it?
I mean, not before, but after like coming, I actually realized, so I always had this knack of, you know, managing and, you know, getting towards the business stuff, and I didn't realize that, she realized that, so that's how it came out. But after coming to college, it was such a fun and new way of learning that Swati ma'am is coming in, she's like, t-shirt leke aana, and we're cutting it in the class, you know, doing this, doing that, learning softwares and stuff like that. So it was very practical and to the point. So I think that is what made me focus in class more, because I'm not very bookish, like not at all. So I think that's what helped me the most, you know, practical learning on, you know, it's 10 people, the faculty, you know, give so much attention. So I think that was the best part.
And theirs was also the batch that came in COVID.
Oh yeah.
And I remember, we were basically, you want to share that?
No, you share that.
Yeah, so I remember that, you know, I mean, they were all online. You know, sometimes they would keep their videos off. And we didn't know whether they were there on that side of the computer or not, you know. And I just thought, let me meet all the parents along with the students. Yeah. So I remember Manik sitting in the center, mom and dad on each side, and maybe after that Manik will say.
The first thought I was, college maybe parent teacher meeting. I was like, I escaped it a while back and I was like very happy. I was like, she's not going to meet anybody. And my parents, in fact, they've never come to college. They only came on the graduation day. They hadn't even seen the college. I came for, you know, all the recce and stuff. So I was like, parent teacher meeting, and I'm just sitting in the middle and they're talking and I'm like, please kuch mat bolna. Camera ke bare mein to please mat bolna, because I know I'm lying down and the computer is on, but
yeah,
got over that too pretty soon.
Wonderful. So yes, those were days of learning. And when you came to campus, did you have the first year online?
Yes, our first year was completely online. So
and what was our reaction when we saw you for the first time when you came?
You thought campus? I was taller. You were like, I imagined you to be taller, but you're like, you know, quite short. And I imagined Mehak to be shorter, but she's quite tall. So it was all these.
Yeah, so imagine 1 year we taught them online, and the second year they come offline, and we were seeing them in person for the first time, and they all looked so different from what they were on the computer, so to say. Okay, so if I go back to what I asked you, why fashion business management, how do you think this course is different here? I mean, you've heard about many management institutes, and you have friends who may be studying in management institutes. How do you think the 3 years and the 2 years of fashion business management was different here as compared to any other management institute?
So for me, it was, you know, in other institutes, people who know about, let's say, NIFT or any other Pearl maybe, there were a lot of students there, right, in one batch. And at the time, IIAD was just coming up and we had a small batch, and I like that in a way, because you get a lot of one-on-one time with your mentors, and there's a lot of growing guidance and growth. Whereas I feel in a bigger batch, that kind of, I mean, it's still possible, but you get more attention when they're lesser, obviously more focus. So I like that, because that's when I was questioning things. When I had like 10 million questions, I think I'd be calling you by like 8 or 10, and even on the weekends I was like, gosh, I don't know how Sunita ma'am copes with all the students, but I have questions, I'm going to ask them. So I liked that, yeah.
Yeah, same. I think I completely agree. One of the main things was strength, and you know, people were just following where everybody was going. You know, this is popular, but I think I'm glad that I didn't do that. And the second thing I already mentioned was the practical learning. I think it's one of the most important things that I've seen. Like every subject that I've studied has been applied already. Like I've already applied it in the past 1 year. Every little thing that I've studied has been applicable somewhere or the other. Like very small thing, like, so I'm into marketing, right? So in our office at Miragio, designers come for feedback. So the whole office, you know, just standing at one place, they come for feedback. So technically I'm from marketing, so I should not have a feedback, right? This is what the common notion is. So, but because we've, you know, studied materials, we've studied tech packs, we know things like how this should be like that. So then when you give your feedback, they're surprised. They're like, oh, ye to marketing wala hai, how does he know? So, you know, these small things affect a lot, and I think that's the best part that I've seen.
Amazing. Let's move on. What do you think, I mean, now that you're in the industry, maybe you haven't spent so much of a time with the industry, but where do you think fashion industry is heading? Do you think what we teach, do you think it suffices? Or do you think we need to change our strategy?
I think fashion industry is always changing, so strategies also will also like keep on changing. Demands change, supply, everything. So naturally, it's an evolving industry, so we have to keep on evolving with it. It's always a trial or miss, hit and miss, like you say. We can't really predict how it's going to be like. So, and it's good to supplement yourself with skills on the side. So let's say even though he's in marketing, he might have like skills or knowledge, or maybe doing some kind of courses on the side, short-term courses which supplement that. So I would say it's really important for students to have an edge like that, because that really helps you gain like an overall knowledge. You can't really have like stick to one strategy. You'll have to keep on changing.
So Manik, when I look at Manik in L4, and when I look at Manik in L5, and then L6, you know, his graph was like that. And after 3 years, gone in college, and now industry, 1 year, what is the difference that you see?
So, like honestly, I think there has been a lot of change personally, because as you mentioned, like I won't be doing this right now. Just saying, like if you pick me from L4, I won't be doing this right now. So one thing that really helped me was communication, which I actually learned from my first internship, which was at Coach. I was a fashion consultant in DLF Emporio, and I think that is what built me as a person in this industry, shaping me in talking to people and just having conversations. You're talking to 40, 45, 50, 100 people in a day. Then you get to learn about so much about the brand, the industry, what are people's choices, demands, lots of things. And that is what shaped me. Then, I went on to my another internship, and, it kept on building me and coming to college, meeting people from so many different areas. So it just shaped me in such a different way that, I'm very happy about it.
I remember, when I was talking to Manik, when he went to the industry in the final year, he was saying that, ma'am, when I came to college, I used to find it so difficult to speak because I completely lacked in confidence. But working now with industry, I feel I'm able to represent myself very well. So I feel that change, and we all as faculty, we could see what kind of a difference it has made, you know, going to the industry with all this knowledge that you have. And when you come back, you kind of beyond recognition, you know, we kind of, I think some of the L6 students who have come, when they came back from the industry, we felt like, oh, are they the same ones who were there with us? Why, how come they have become suddenly so responsive, and they've become so serious, and they've become so committed to the work that they were doing? So I think this industry exposure has made a lot of difference. What do you have to say, Jessica?
I agree completely. I remember, I think it was Manik's batch only. I remember there were some few students who came very shy, you know, in the beginning, very soft spoken. And it was about a year later when you had called me to one of their project displays. I came there and they were like all so confident talking about their work. It was a complete change. And yes, exposure is very much important. There's so much so you can learn from practicality or like just bookish knowledge, but it both needs to go hand in hand.
So, I mean, we all keep, the other thing I want to ask is, we all keep telling them that create your own LinkedIn profile. Yeah, how many of you think that Abhishek sir saying create your LinkedIn profile? Yeah, how many of you have done that? Raise your hand. Oh wow. How important do you think is creating my LinkedIn profile?
It should be on the top of your list, at least for networking. After your first job, when you want to move on, that's what people are going to go towards. It has to be a part of your network. You have to treat it like as top priority, and it has to be updated, because there are a lot of important individuals in the industry who literally spend most of the time, like you would on Instagram, they spend it on LinkedIn. So I think one has to really, you know, utilize that platform to their most optimum. Yes.
So Manik, what do you think got you your first job?
My first job or internship?
First job, now that you're working with Miragio.
First job, I think the first most important thing was, so I was a fresher, right? So I think knowledge about the industry was the most important thing. Knowledge about handbags, since I had a prior experience of, you know, working in handbags. Even my capstone project was related to a handbag brand. So I think that was the number one, knowledge of the product, of the industry, and just my interview also went very well. I was so confident, you know, I intrigued our founder, you know, why he should take me, and you know, I was like, I'm very driven. I said all of those things, and I think, yeah, overall being very confident in me and about my knowledge, I think that helped me a lot.
Jessica, how did it go with you? What did you think you got your first job because of?
I think it was an amalgamation of so many things. It was the network that our faculty members had, also like the feedback that we got from the placements team, how to, you know, refine your CV, how to refine your about you section, and how to make it very clean, neat, your portfolio. And also one important thing I would say would be, if if the more focused you are with your roles, like this is what I want to target, like I think Manik has done that very well. He's known since the beginning, you know, that this is what I want to do. The more you're going to direct everything towards that, right? Your portfolio, your CV. So the more you can pinpoint what you actually want to do as an individual, or like as a role in the industry, what you want to explore, then there half the work is done. Then you are not like in guessing mode or things like that. So I think half the work is done when you have identified what you want to do or where your interest lies. So that's an important thing.
I'm very sure here, you know, there's one thing that we all face, and that is competition. You know, what is it that my peer is doing? Is he or she doing better than what I am doing? So how many of you feel that, you know, that competition is too much, and I'm getting, how does one win this race? Does everyone feel that? Yeah? How did you deal with it?
So I have this saying that I always kept in me, was told to somebody told me when I was working in Tangerine, the founder, and I also mentioned in my graduation speech also, comparison is the thief of joy. Whenever you compare yourself to others, if you're better, it's gonna make you happy. If you're not better, then it's gonna make you sad. So it's just a momentarily thing, but you have to have trust in yourself, always to improve, and just keep going. You don't have to just look in the front, look at your things, and I think that is the most important thing that I've always kept. I've never, even if I've pulled myself back. I was like, I'm not going to compare, and just focus on yourself, because in the end it's you only. Nobody's going to help you when you're in the industry. Nobody's going to help you. It's when you're a fresher, it's all seniors, they try to pull you down. So just generally, so I think that is
very well said. I mean, very well said. Jessica, would you like to add to that?
I think during my time in IIAD, when I was with Mehak, we all come from different walks of life. We all have a different story. How can you compare your story with someone else's? If they have not lived the same life, they have not taken the same decisions, then you can't really compare. I never thought of it as a competition, really. I was just working on myself, and I was just constantly trying to make it better. If this is how to make your good better and your better best, that's what you focus on as a mantra. You can apply it to yourself. And I remember Mehak came from a finance background, and I was always keen on learning from her. Mehak, how do you do this? How do you do that? And we were always like keen on learning from each other. We never had that kind of behavior like, oh my God, pulling ourselves. I never. We were always, collaboration is the key. So if you find someone who is like good at something and you want to focus on improving in that area, then collaborate. This is what the industry is about. You can't do everything. You will be a master of one role, and then along the way you'll find certain people who are good at something that maybe you want to be good at, then you collaborate. So I think it's a healthy way of looking at it.
I'm so happy to hear this. And I remember, I think Swati is going to remember that online batch, okay, and 8 p.m. we are suddenly wanting to go and see, just logged in, and these girls, they had 5 students in their batch, and they are all sitting 8 p.m., no class, nothing. They themselves have called everyone, and they are teaching each other. She used to be an expert with fashion design and fashion elements, etc. So she's teaching the others. This girl Mehak is brilliant with finance, so she's teaching them finance. Uttam was very good with textile, and we were both aghast as to how can this be, that students are taking the initiative and they are doing this by themselves. So it was brilliant. Thank you for teaching us how to work in collaboration, what you're saying just now. Yeah? Okay, so very difficult question. Who's your favorite teacher at IIAD? Who was your favorite teacher?
Favorite teacher? I'm going to be honest. So, I have 2, honestly. No offense, please don't anybody. So, first was Gaurav sir.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh yeah, so he taught us, I think, marketing, and is such a great individual. Like, he used to do everything practical, used to make us write notes and so much stuff. And second was Swati ma'am. In fact, tech packs, this and that, so much in practical knowledge, and making the whole tech pack and every sheet that she's worked on in her professional life, free hand us pe bana ke, like, it was just great.
Wonderful. Jessica, what about you?
So my approach, it's not particularly according to who was best. I think everyone's teaching style is different, so that's nothing about that. But I would like to say Manobhav sir and his accounts, because that was an area I was lacking. I was always running away from accounts like all my life, and then suddenly you come here and you're like, okay, finally I'll have to deal with my demons and work with the numbers. And Manobhav sir, he really sat with you with all your doubts, and he would not make you feel like bad about not knowing basic stuff. And I really appreciated that about him. And he really, the way he used to make me understand accounts was something that really grasped. Like it wasn't on my terms that he made me understand, not on his terms that he has that knowledge. No, on my terms. How can I translate this to her so that she understands? So Manobhav sir and Gaurav sir, I enjoyed how crisp he was with his lessons. Like it was just, if he came into a class with 20 bullet points, then those 20 bullet points he will make sure you learn it, and you will know 6 months later also. So Gaurav sir was very like, he'll come, he'll have a conversation, conversationally he'll teach you the lesson also, and then he'll go, wow, chill. ऐसे लगा कहानी बता के चले गए. And then you remember it, and then you just think about, oh, he said that, and yeah, so you like remember those points.
I'm very sure students are wondering here why Gaurav sir is not given to us. So we are going to organize maybe some master classes by Gaurav sir so that you also understand as to what Gaurav sir was.
Yeah, he was a visiting faculty, right?
Yes, he was a visiting faculty. Any one of you, were you, I mean, not that the numbers were very high, but were you backbenchers? Did you want to go and, you were backbencher?
Yeah, always.
Okay, so what did it mean? Was it backbencher hype? What do you think that is really worth it?
I mean, I always used to be a backbencher, so for me it was just very normal, sitting at the back of the class. But doesn't really matter because my ears were always open. So even if I'm looking, doing, even if my head is down, which I was very popular for, guys, I used to sleep way too much in class and always
I'm
sitting at the last and with my head down, but always listening. So I think that's just the trick. Keep your ears open. I think that'll help.
I think with online classes, it was a challenge because, there was so much strain on the eyes. Like, and I remember there was this one subject, what was that one with Google ads and all of that? There was this one sir who was there. उनकी कभी शक्ल ही नहीं देखी because his camera, I don't remember seeing his शक्ल, but I remember the whole batch, we were so sleepy because he got into numbers and so intricately he was telling everything, and we were just like trying to stay up and like listen, but it was so impossible. Candidly telling you this.
I'm so glad you forgot the name.
Yeah. Conveniently.
Yeah, so okay, we are going to go to the next round, and it's going to be the rapid fire round. So who wants to go first?
Manik.
Manik, okay. So Manik, so when you say a rapid fire, you have no time to think. You have to be quick, yeah? Your favorite spot on campus?
There was this terrace which used to be open, but I think it's closed.
Terrace used to be open. Simrat, was terrace open?
No, first year when we just came. Yeah,
First
year when we just came. It was a good spot.
Oh, right.
Of chilling.
Now I remember. Yes, there is a terrace.
Wow.
Right outside the elevator.
Okay. Another, just simply, most interesting professor?
Swati ma'am.
Okay. One subject that you hated?
I can't remember the name. This one, accounts.
Accounts,
Yeah,
okay.
the finance one.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you have to describe your college life through movies, which one would it be?
Movies. I'm so bad at movies, guys. I haven't seen. I'm so bad.
I agree with him.
Kabhi
Like,
Khushi Kabhi Gum. That I've seen that recently, I think.
Okay. Okay. I mean, this is something. Abba kaise mane fashion business stream ke liye?
So, luckily, I just told you the story. So, even my sisters, one is from a design background. So, it was very easy for me. It was just very open to pick whatever you want. So, I think it came to me, like it was my decision solely. It was given to me. You have to choose, you have to pick for yourself what you have to do. So, that was, I think, easy gate open for me.
How many versions of final jury presentation you have on your computer?
Final, double L, triple A, L, final 2, final 3. I have lost count. There's a whole folder. I still have
वो
it on my
final
laptop.
one, no, final नाम है
वो
वो.
final वाला, final in caps. It's the final one. You drag it to your desktop and like this is the final one, and now no more changes. I lost count.
Your college crush?
Oh, I didn't have any, guys, please. I actually didn't have any.
You sure?
Yeah.
Enact your jury day face in one emoji.
Jury day face. Jury day face, I don't remember, but I was just sweating. The whole time I was like, pasina, how do I even, I was just sweating, my shirt is all wet and I'm like just sweating, I'm so tensed, my leg is like this. It was just this, it was literally like this, I'm just sweating and I'm just trying to, wipe my face and yeah.
Okay.
Very nervous.
Did you prefer group project or individual project? See, L4 is all laughing away.
So do we have like spare time? I have a very good story and like I think something I'd like to share. Individual project always the answer to this, but I've come to realize that it's actually not, because I was that person that when you're working in a group, I was like मैं कर लूँगा, रहने दो, मतलब कुछ नहीं करना, मैं कर दूँगा submit, सबका नाम हो जाएगा and like we'll do this. So I was always like this, कि I always liked what I did. It was like this, that I feel like I had done the right thing, the correct thing, the best thing, but it's actually not the case. You have to start. I think one thing which I should have learned in college was collaborating with my batchmates and working with everybody, because in the industry you get no choice. You have no choice. You have to understand their ideas, their thoughts, something that they want to incorporate, because you just can't say no. You simply can't say no. So I think that is one thing that I should have learned.
Okay. बेटा 10वीं कर लो, लाइफ सेट हो जाएगी. बेटा 12वीं कर लो, लाइफ सेट हो जाएगी. बेटा कॉलेज कर लो, लाइफ सेट हो जाएगी. लाइफ सेट लग रही है?
Not even close. not even close.
Okay.
It's just I've done all three, but it's still I've tried all three, but it's nowhere near.
Okay. Any funny or awkward moment you had during your days at IIAD?
During my days at IIAD.
Awkward or funny moments?
One thing that my batchmates used to really laugh at me was, so I was really into eating good and
Healthy.
Yeah, started working out and stuff. So I used to get the same food for 3 months. I ate only chicken rice for 3 months, and every day they used to look at me and like, "तो फिर से यही खा रहा है? You're having this only." And I didn't, it all went bad. Just saying, it all went bad. But yeah, I think they used to laugh at me every day. You like, फिर वही खा रहा है, rice and chicken with those vegetables. So
Okay.
they used to call me chicken rice.
So one most interesting question. What did Cyrus Cafe mean to you?
Oh, lovely. Just step out of college, sit there for 1 hour, college is over, sit there for 1 hour, just chatting, celebrating birthdays, smashing cakes. So it was just a whole vibe.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So we're going to decide who wins after Jessica has done hers. So Jessica, your favorite spot on campus?
I would say I like the canteen.
Okay.
Just eating,
okay.
going for chai. We would be like 5 minutes mein aa rahe ma'am, hum aa rahe, we'd be just drinking chai. Like, can I have another chai?
Most interesting professor?
Most interesting. Swati ma'am had a lot of
Okay.
stories to tell.
One subject that you hated?
That Google ad one, I
Okay.
can't remember the name.
If you have to describe your college life through movies, which one would it be?
I think a mix of Hera Fairy and Main Hoon Na. Both.
Hera Fairy?
Yeah, because when we couldn't get things right, then I knew Mehak would help me with the finance part. She'd be like, Main hoon na, tu chill kar. I was like, thanks. Then we would just exchange some stuff like that.
So, of course, was it difficult for parents to allow you to go into the fashion field?
No, because my mom herself had a passion for sewing clothes. She still does, and she still does it better than me without having any prior, formal education. And even today, I'm learning from her. So, and my dad is like, "Jo mummy bolegi, wahi tum karna." So, mummy ne to bol diya. So, it was,
Okay.
yeah.
And how many versions of final jury presentations do you have? Again,
No
same
one
thing?
counts. No one.
No
It's the
count.
final one in caps lock. That's
Okay,
the final one.
final.
Yeah.
And your college crush?
No one. I didn't have any crush. I
How
think
boring.
I didn't. We were online all the whole time. Who would I have
Okay.
a college in 5 on a batch of 5?
Okay, okay. Enact your jury day face in one emoji.
One emoji. It's just like the one with वो यहाँ पे एक drop बना हुआ होता है like हाँ okay मैम कर लेंगे like that. So
One sweat, like-
yeah, one sweat, cold sweat. You're just like हाँ हो जाएगा, and you're like pulling all nighters the whole week just to get that done. So yeah.
So for you, group project or individual project?
I preferred individual, but then yeah, with time I realized collaboration. You have to, in any case, when you go out in the industry, you're not doing an individual project, you're essentially doing a group project. So might as well get used to it.
Yeah.
You will find all shades of people.
How is your life set now? 10वीं, 11वीं, 12वीं, college, undergrad, masters, सब कर लिया.
I don't think it's set. I think the journey has just
Just
begun. Yeah, for me. There's a long way to go. There are going to be a lot of ups and downs and questions, and so I don't think it's set. अभी कहाँ set होगा? अभी तो शुरू हुआ है.
अभी तो शुरू हुआ है, correct.
Yeah.
Any funny or awkward moment that you had in your days of IID?
I think upstairs next to the FBM room, we had a class, and
हाँ.
वो ना भी तो I think we were shifted there because the classes downstairs the juniors had taken. So what happened was कुछ serious class चल रही थी, something number crunching or something like that. Maths was involved, and it was Swati ma'am actually talking about merchandising, and we were in that room. And वहाँ पे ना बाथरूम के टाइल्स जैसे लगे हुए थे. वहाँ पे आई थिंक टाई डाई करते थे पहले.
हाँ.
So I remember I in the starting of the class I told ma'am ऐसा लगता है हम ना किसी बड़े बाथरूम में ना एक क्लास कर रहे और आगे ना white board लगा हुआ है. So that was ignored, and then ma'am कुछ important समझा रही थी, and पीछे से some person came with their like utensils. They started washing in the middle of the class. मतलब ये पक्का washroom वाली वाइब आ रही है, मेरे को क्या हो रहा है? So that was pretty awkward. We were trying to concentrate, and someone just comes and washes the utensils and goes, and like what's happening?
Okay. So we have stopped having classes there now.
Okay, good. Because that would have happened a lot more.
What did Cyrus Cafe mean to you?
I didn't really go there.
No?
No. I'll try it out today.
Oh,
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Do you think she has missed something in
Because-
life?
I think
No, they say no.
we were online most of the time. Most of the time we were online classes, so we didn't really go to Cyrus Cafe and
Okay.
all.
So, okay. So now we have got some coffee. And we are going to have some, can they pull their chairs in the front, or maybe you can put your mobiles and you can put the glasses in front of you. Okay, now these coffee shots are not one by one.
Such a big shot.
You can take a sip.
More
You
like
can
a
take
coffee
sip.
gulp.
You can take a sip, okay?
Okay.
Now, if you have done it, then you take a sip, okay? And if you haven't, you don't.
Okay.
Bunked a class. How many times, Manik, did you do it?
I'll have to drink the whole thing, so we'll skip that.
Once or twice.
Once or twice.
Yeah.
I thought you were not going to take the sip, Jessica.
Oh, I'm like,
yeah.
like you see a teacup and you're like, oh yeah, I'm drinking tea in it.
Had a crush in college.
No.
Dry.
Hated a subject, but loved the professor. What is that?
I forgot what Megha ma'am used to teach us, but the professor was nice, but
the subject.
See, I don't even remember.
She used to teach Harvard referencing and yeah.
Oh my god.
I'll have
Big girl.
Okay,
oh my
okay.
god.
Lied about being sick to extend the submission deadline.
Sick, only sick. I think
Being
I'll have-
sick, okay,
Yeah,
or
we'll count more excuses in this one.
okay, fine. ठीक है. You didn't.
No.
Oh, wonderful.
A good child.
Cribbed about a person only to discover he or she standing right behind you. When was it?
think it was, I don't remember when exactly, but Akansha was always the mystery person in our batch. And we were always wondering when will she come, when will she come. So she had just come and I'm just talking about when will she come.
God.
So yeah.
Okay. Accidentally or intentionally destroyed college property. Manik को तो
I
ये
barely
लेना ही
stayed on
पड़ेगा
the
shot.
property.
I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, I have.
What did you do?
Oh yeah, I have.
What did you do, Manik?
So when we first came to college, so we had this classroom right next to Usha ma'am's.
हाँ नीचे
वहाँ
first
पर.
floor में.
So we went there and the drawers weren't opening.
हाँ.
They had locked the drawers or something. So I was like, I need to access the drawer. So बस वो metal वाला ऐसे करा और drawer खोल दिया.
Now we know, Simrat, where the metals are, where it is. 500 rupees fine. Exaggerated things in your resume.
Exaggerated things. Career driven, motive.
I think we all do that a little. Yeah, we have to do that.
Resume is exaggerated only.
Okay, the last one. Copied someone's work in the name of inspiration.
No.
See, they all sound, it's all sounding familiar to them.
You should give Coke glasses to all of them.
One shot for everyone.
No?
No.
No? No, I don't think so.
Okay. Any questions that the audience wants to ask them?
My question is for both of you. So from campus to the industry, what was the transition like? And if a fresher is going to the industry, what are the things he should keep in mind for the transition?
I would say keep an open mind at first. It's the transition, it's easy for some, it's difficult for others. Generally because you'll again face different kinds of groups you'll be working with, different kinds of personalities. So keep an open mind and don't give, I would say don't react too quickly, just give it time and first kind of mellow into the profile yourself, and I think you'll then get the hang of things. There's no formula to it.
Yeah, I think I would agree. There's actually no formula. I think one thing is that just be friendly and open to meeting new people. Sometimes we put a barrier that he's a senior, he's a junior. So I think you should just be open and just be friendly and be cordial to everybody. I think that is one.
So like, how do you decide where do you want to end up, and how do you deal with the FOMO if you have it?
How do we end up like
where do you want to end up in the industry? What do you want to do?
We don't. I think so, it's a journey. So I also don't know where I'll end up. Yeah, it's like some people are like very clear on their goals. Like I said, maybe one person has always dreamt of doing that one thing, but some people they face winds of change and it kind of blows them over somewhere else. So depends.
Yeah, and I think I would in my undergrad after I graduated, even in our internship. So what I did was, so I had nothing in mind, where to work, what to do. So I just went on and tried. My first internship was in sales, front end. So I tried that. I was like good 4-5 months. Then you get the experience. Then you get to decide. It's up to you that if this is for you or not. Then went to an export house. The back end. So it was completely not for me. And I cried so much कि मेरे को यहाँ से निकाल दो, because it's just 50-year-old people just working. It's not for everybody. So marketing was it was the third thing that I tried. So just keep on trying, because right now I think we have the opportunity to try and the time to try. It's not necessary to fix yourself to one thing, because if you've not tried it, but should be open to trying new things, definitely.
Anyone else, any L4 student this side would like to ask? Yeah, please go ahead. Kritika.
Hi. So just I wanted to ask, like, what would be that one thing you think that could have been taught to you in like college or something, and when you went to the industry and you were like, oh, I wish that this could have been done or something like that?
Oh yeah, I have one.
Huh?
Yeah, I have one.
Please go ahead.
So it's a very small thing, only for FBM students. I think should incorporate Shopify in learning, because so I've been handling the website for Miragio for the past 1 year, and when I entered, it was completely fresh. So I think it's a very good tool to learn. It's, I think, the most important. Even if you're going, anywhere, should have knowledge about Shopify, because it is, all the brands use Shopify. Each and every brand is using Shopify. Just basics would help a lot. So that is one thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, please, Sarah.
What is like one, maybe a misconception that you might have had about the industry that changed after you entered it?
I honestly thought it was going to be easy. I honestly thought it's going to be a cakewalk, because it's actually not. You get to learn so many things about people, how people are, their behavior, their way of working. So it's just, you have to adapt. I thought ki, oh, मैं hi hello बोलूँगा and it'll be very normal, but it's not like that. You have to, in some places you have to see the hierarchy. So there's a lot of stuff which I wasn't aware of, which I think would be one.
I think how I would like to answer your question would be, you may have, let's say, knowledge, practical knowledge or college knowledge, whatever, research knowledge, but and you may be good at what you know, right? You're strong, that marketing, I've done it really well, I know all about it. And let's say you go to the office and you're a marketing person and you're handling the role. Now you're handling it with 10 other people. It's not just you and your individual contribution, it's the contribution of all those 10 people. So that's where you're going to face delivering things on time as a challenge, or kind of coming on to common grounds and having the kind of executing the same thing that you discussed the same way you execute it. There's so many little things, just the knowledge is not enough. I think when you go into the industry, working with the individuals to drive that collective goal, that's a whole other challenge. You may be good at what you do, but let's say now marketing now has to be on the same page as the merchandising team, the production team, the finance, and then only collectively you're going to achieve your goals. So that's one thing that I overlooked, or I learned once I was in the industry.
Also, on a personal note, from being a student and managing your life within college or your bachelor's and master's versus your life outside, personally, how is it different now that you're working and you have to balance your life outside of work, if that makes sense?
So I think life is just a collection of commitments. So when you have to do it, you have to do it. You have a 9-to-5 job and then you go back home, you have a commitment towards your parents or etc. etc. You may have dogs who might be, looking forward to meeting you, and you have to feed them. Everything is a commitment. There's no resting. That's when adult life hits you. You're just there's no rest. There's no rest to even learning. Don't think that you're done with college and you don't have to learn no more. No, you'll be continuously learning till the end of time. Or you are comfortable with that view, or that life is just going to go on and you have to adapt and evolve. It'll be easier for you because you won't be fighting it. You won't be in your head aaj mujhe ye karna padega. No, when you have made up your mindset ki this is what you have to do, it happens. It's going to go on. The more you fight it, the more longer it's going to take you.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to figure it out, honestly.
Same.
I can't answer because I'm still trying to figure it out. I have those days where I'm like, आज तो मन ही नहीं है जाने का, क्या करूँ, सोना है मेरे को, but you don't have an option. So I think, you just learn whatever Jessica said, because I am still trying to figure it out.
Any faculty would like to ask them anything? Yes, sir.
Oh,
please.
Oh no.
3 things, both of you at your levels, that you would suggest this generation of professionals to learn or know before entering the organizations they are aspiring to go to. Just 3 things.
One, I would say AI tools. Be up to date with that. It can make your lives a lot easier, and they're evolving so quickly. I can't even keep up with how many things are evolving. So one would be AI tools. Manik, you want to?
I'll add one which has helped me a lot. Following these Instagram pages who have, who are up to date about everything that's happening in the fashion industry. Whatever show is happening, show roundup, stuff like that. Everything about the industry that is happening right now is going to help you a lot, because it's going to help you make you quick decisions and you already know what's happening. So, just be updated about what's happening in the industry, what's happening in the US, who has launched what colors, what are they using. So, just general collective information about the industry. You should, it's basically GK of fashion. You should be very on point on GK of fashion, because it's going to help you a lot.
It will allow you to see trends, I would say. Read trends. You will know what to, focus towards, what to, like how many quantities of, let's say, this jacket will sell. You will know once you start looking at the overall trends, follow the correct people online, the correct, what do you say, companies maybe, which are similar to your, category. And the third, I would say networking is very important. Don't be in a bubble. I would say new ideas come out of very, walking, taking the roads less traveled. Don't be afraid to do that. Network, go in areas or, maybe meet people who you wouldn't naturally meet with. You never know what's going to come up or what you might learn. So be open to that. Network. So that's the third one.
3 qualities that... Please go ahead.
No, you just have to, go and talk. I'll just share a small experience. I recently went to my first ever award show. That was Elle Fashion Awards, and it was my first. So I literally had cold feet. I couldn't talk to any influencer, celebrity. There were so many celebrities. I couldn't talk. But somebody from my PR team was there. She was pulling me. She's like, "Aaja usse baat karte hain." And I'm like, "Kaise?" Matlab, so networking is very important. You just have to be confident, and I'm just going to use the word shameless. Matlab, bas chale jao, baat kar lo, and then you realize, oh, it was this easy. Because it happened with me 2-3 times. You're like, let's go and talk to this celebrity, this influencer, Dolly Singh and all. You're like, oh, very normal. She's like, oh, how, I like your dress. It's just a very normal thing.
I was gone sourcing in Selampur, and everyone knows Nancy Tyagi, right? She was just walking in front of me. What do I do next? You are from an organization, see how you can connect with that person. I know she's an influencer, she makes all these outfits and whatnot. I pulled out my card and I'm like, Nancy, we would really love to have you, come and visit our NGO. We teach students, they would love to they see you as a role model. We would love to collaborate with you. Networking has a power. She may not, instantly get back to you, but maybe, let's say 2 years, 5 years down the line, she may have some project come up and she'll be like, oh yeah, this person, she reached out to me. So networking is very important. She hasn't gotten back to me yet, but I've at least given her the contact details. So yeah.
A follow-up question, what 3 qualities that these students should have?
See, this you have spoken about in terms of, profession. But in terms of an individual, what are the 3 qualities like sir is asking?
I think I would like to mention one, which is communication. It's actually very important, and we don't realize it as well. Communication, I think, is the key. You should know how to, in a formal format, in an organization, you should know how to talk to your team members, to your founders, everything in all, to external people that you're working with, collaborating with. Communication is very, very important.
And to add to that, I would say, be confident with what you're saying. Don't be like shy. If you know your numbers are correct or whatever it may be, don't be obviously aggressive. You're in a formal environment. There's a particular way how you're supposed to get things across. But when you're confident in yourself and the knowledge you have, or like whatever role you're in, communicating is important. Otherwise, for whatever organization, even if you're working for yourself, if things go under notice, that's going to have an effect on the whole thing, right? Then what's the point of having all the knowledge, all the data, and then it's not coming through properly? So that would be one point. So 2 other confidence, I guess, would be second.
One very weird one that I have is typing. For some reason, I think people should work on their typing also, because mine wasn't very good. And I realized, I saw somebody sitting right next to me typing like this, and I'm like, oh, aise bhi type karte hain. So that is one quality I think should learn everybody.
And I've seen people who are outspoken within any organization in a healthy way, who they say what they think, without really thinking about, oh, what will they say about it. Maybe what you're saying is wrong. Oh, ye style nahi chalega ya jo bhi hai. But I know groups groups within the organization, they know that person will have some opinion, and when you have an opinion, that matters also. It doesn't have to be right, it doesn't have to be wrong, it's okay, but at least you're putting something out there, so that's also okay.
Yes?
Would you include adaptability?
I would, yes.
Definitely.
I think I've used the word evolving like 3 to 5 times. You have to keep on evolving with this industry. The fashion industry is so fast and it's so like versatile, growing. You might cut off one head, 3 more might come up. You know, it's like that. So you'll have to be up on your feet all the time. Yes.
Yes. The last question.
Yeah, sure. So just because you guys have like already been a student here and everything, my question is, it's a little funny, but what if you were like a FBM faculty and you had to make this course, what all things will you include and exclude from this?
I think 1 year down the line, if we're talking about FBM, I think I would really start asking the student, decide one area, like if you had top 3 roles you would want to do, note them down, right? Because otherwise we're just like, I might want to do this, I might want to do that. I think 1 year, when you're done with 1 year, number it down. Number 1, I would really like to be a merchandiser. If not, if I don't get this role, number 2, I would like to this, and number 3, like to do this. Then from that year onwards, we start working on our portfolio and CV. Because end moment, trying to figure it out, it's like quite difficult for some people. Otherwise, when an individual is asking that question themselves a year before trying to apply, at least they're working towards that area if it's not figured out. That is one thing I would add or change maybe. Exclude में क्या होगा? Exclude, I don't think
कोई
there's
चीज़
anything.
ऐसी जो निकाल देनी चाहिए करिकुलम से, ना?
I have used everything.
Honestly, even I can't.
Because I think
exclude,
naturally you would exclude as an individual. If that knowledge, as a marketing person or as whatever, you will not use other knowledge, right? You'll get bored in that class. So naturally you will do that. Course-wise, I wouldn't exclude it, because when you're in a role, knowledge of other roles is important. So excluding that would actually not benefit you. It'll benefit you in the wrong learn to include everything. For your, like FYI, ऐसे होता ना, FYI, you should know this. तो ऐसे, yeah.
Okay, I think now we'll come to the end of it. And thank you so very much that each one of you have come here. I know that Friday evening to sit here, when you all have your own plans, for you to come and sit and listen to and get their advice, fantastic. And over and above everyone, I think for them to have taken out their time to come and be here, I think let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you. Thank you so much. And just as a token of our gratitude to both of you,